showed us all had all he needed. Could park it anywhere, free as a bird. But when he flew, he found out fast that the great outdoors is a barbed wire fence. I'm not staying here when the shit goes south, and the shit seems to be already here. I've a backpack with all my needs. Trouble is, when I dream, all I find is that the great outdoors is a barbed wire fence. I'm sure my grandfather left freedom here, unless my eyes were open when I was born. But this world has left me blind. Is that right, Mother? Am I blind? I'm sure I smelled freedom once in the backwood forests of your eyes. Had you said, hide with me, or how else will we ever live free? There's an exodus heading out of town. Their faces are up, but their eyes are down. There's a sun that seems to be shining upside down, and around and around, upside down, and around and around, upside down, and around and around, until we reach the outskirts of town, where we find time and time again that the great outdoors is a barbed wire fence.
Hey everybody, we're next to a river tonight. We're just finding it somewhere between Orange and Wellington. I think we're on the Macquarie River at Ponto Falls Reserve. And it was really interesting because we went to the caravan parks are empty. They wanted $51, one of the ones we went to for a night. And this river is just full of holiday makers all camping out for free in the Australian bush. So here we are. And tonight we're doing something that we've been doing a bit now, and we really like it because when COVID was here and we're all trying to figure it out, getting the experts on about, the new discoveries about the mRNA vaccines was great. It was a big coup. They had lots of information, and they're still out there doing that. But right now, what's happening now in Australia, digital ID, the way we're sort of sliding into tyranny and the way that people are rising up, I don't think there is many experts on that. None of us have been here before. And I also think our community is something that can be a beacon of hope. But who is our community made of? Who are the people in our community? We're more than just spectators to the big brains. And so B. Winfield has been a great supporter and is always on here chatting away. And now her and a partner create honey, and she wants that bee-free honey. I think she's been selling bee-free honey, which we think other honey producers could sell in other states. Anyway, but she's got another great story. So I'm going to bring her on now, and hopefully a microphone's working. I've got fingers crossed. Cross your fingers, B. Here we go. Have it say something. No. No, I can't hear you, B. We got silence. Maybe try once more and pick the other microphone and we'll cross our fingers. Otherwise, do you own a mobile phone? Nod if yes. Or shake your head for no. Oh, good. Okay, we'll use your mobile phone. This is technology. Cafe looked at its finest. Here we go. That's it.
How's that?
Perfect.
Very good.
Perfect.
Woo-hoo!
Woo.
That was scary.
Okay, let's just hello B. Let's just start. I'm so glad you came on. And tomorrow we got Simon O'Rourke. So it's going to be two fun shows. First off, I'm really interested. COVID changed the country, changed everything. So before you'd even heard of the word COVID, what were you doing, and how, what were you doing? What was life like?
Well, I remember the news clearly with the Chinese people falling down and putting their hands out just before they dropped dead. That was, I was a Greenie, Michael. I was the Greens Party, very
Really?
trying to protest for the environment. Yeah, trying to keep the bush around here from being logged. We was in that battle for 20 years. I've been on my farm here in Nannup for 40 years. And
how big's the farm? Is it a big farm or a little farm or medium?
It's just 27 acres.
Oh,
and we have,
country there, though.
in 2012, we bought 50 acres at Carrydale, which is on the coast, and it was underwater nearly half the year. And we knew that the environment was actually drying out. So I don't want to put much more than half your people offside already. But being in one place for 40 years, Michael, I've seen climate change is pretty real. Now, I don't know if they're creating it with weather manipulation or just the burning of the forest all the time, the logging, and many other means of getting rid of the lungs of our earth, that create the clouds, that create the rain. The ecosystem is really being damaged by herbicides.
That I agree with.
In general.
The herbicides and pesticides. Like, we're driving through the country, and we just saw it today, actually. And this is from a farmer in Berrigan, I think, who told me about this. So on one side, there's this crop. I don't know what it is. It's all brilliant green. And on the other side is a hill, and all the trees are dead. And that's what he says, is that they spray it, and the spray crosses and kills other plants around. Because I was thinking, how come those trees over there are alive and this entire hill is just dead trees? So I don't know if it's that, but I do believe, the herbicides and stuff are a real issue.
Yes, and even the fertilizers. So when they say spray free, it's still not good. What we need to learn, and the farmers have been brainwashed that they need chemicals to produce a crop, but nature has been doing it for millions of years with no chemicals. So in 2013, what were we doing? We'd just been having our little market stall for 20 years and growing a permaculture and raising 5 children. I was at 4 to the first husband, gave him the flick, thank God. And then I had my youngest son leave 10 years later. So I have had, raised 5 children. And
wow,
on
5
the farm,
children.
They got a great start. I think we milked the cows, we produced our own meat and vegetables. But I, like everybody else, was pretty brainwashed that fruit and vegetables was very important. And meat, you don't need that. You certainly don't need fat, animal fat. But we found out gradually that we live in a world of misinformation. And the ones that really are putting out the slogans that are the opposite of the truth, they've got all the money to do that. It's expensive to put up everywhere. But when you're hearing the same message everywhere, it's usually coming from the 5 corporations that control food and health.
Yep. Big food, big pharma.
Like Bayer Crop Science. The other arm is Bayer Health. So you've got this making you sick with the food, making chronic illness, and then covering up the symptoms with pharmaceuticals. So
Yeah.
we're a money greed. We realised that a long time ago.
Yeah.
And my hero of the time was Bill Mollison. And when I fall in love with people all the time. And he was fantastic. And
Who was he? Tell us something about him. Who was he?
He and a guy called his student, much younger guy, David Holmgren, they created the concept of permaculture, which is actually one of Australia's greatest exports, because it's really been grabbed in America and places now. It's like you use the principles of nature to grow a food forest, because nature's got the winning model. So, you've got the overstory in the middle section, and then the vines and the root crops and all that. So we set about growing food forests, and it was quite easy to do, and we expanded it every year. And it's only really the first 20 years there was heaps of rainfall. And then in 2000, and I'd heard about climate change since I was a 10-year-old, and I actually lived in Melbourne then, and my dad built a house called, in Seaview Street, Mount Waverley, and we could see the sea and the city from the poop deck, because he's a sailor, and he called this top room thing, which had a telescope, the poop deck. And I used to say, yeah, he's a funny man. He's a real character. But
is he still alive?
He is. He's 86, or is he 87? Sorry, Dad.
Oh, my father's 88 tomorrow. So, yeah.
Oh,
happy birthday
wow.
tomorrow, Dad. Yeah.
Well, and I'm sure your mum and dad would looked at you and just said you're going to do wonderful things in this world. Because you are.
Sure they said that.
Hey?
I'm not sure. They love me, but I think they wanted a plumber and got a giraffe, to be honest.
That's funny. So, we worked that out, and Bill Mollison helped a lot, and he said we have to withdraw our support from the multinationals. That means don't buy a chemically grown tomato. And we took that right on board, and before long we really didn't have to buy much food at all. But still, because of I don't know why, but I was selling organic food eventually, but I was turning around getting good prices in the organic shop and looking at the price of beetroot in there and going, $6 a kilo, and running over to Coles and buying the terrible beetroots. So even as my son Lee was born, it wasn't really till he was 4 that we worked out that we have to go 100% organic in our food that we buy or grow, that we eat. 100% organic, because even the spices and everything. And that was a big boost to our health. And really I was a sickly kid. I was a sickly young adult. I was, had 7 years of severe PMS in my 30s, which nobody could help. And eventually, after 7 years, doctors were useless. A clairvoyant actually approached me at a party. And this was a big thing in my life, so I'll tell you about it. Cool. Larissa White. And Larissa White sort of said, I talked to her just as a, hi, how are you? We found out our birthdays were on the same day. And she came up to me at the end of the party and she said, I'm a clairvoyant, and I've got a strong urge to give you a reading, and I'll do it for free for your birthday. You come up to Bunbury. Wow. Yeah. And she said, you can bring anyone else. It'll be $50 for them. And I said, thanks, I'll try and get a few people, And I got one lady to come with me, and we were both absolutely astounded, because I'd been to a doctor recently, and I'd been on estrogen patches, and I thought they were making me worse, but I was shocking. I was, out of every month, three weeks was spent mentally ill, and 1 week of normal, happy, normal functioning. But
can I ask, what were the symptoms of mentally ill? How did it present? Were you angry? Were you depressed?
No, I was having panic attacks all day.
Okay.
It was all very
full of anxiety, really.
Anxiety for 1 week, then depression, unable to get out of bed. So for 1 week,
Wow.
I'd be getting up at 4 a.m. and burning off as much adrenaline as I could, like riding my bike for miles. And then for another week, I'd be so exhausted and just so depressed and suicidal. So, and this was like this, like a wave, you know, and a monthly thing. So I thought it was hormonal, but my doctor told me, oh no, you just got depression. You got to go on Prozac. He sent me to a psychiatrist who said, you're so suicidal that you've got to stay on this Prozac for a year at least. It didn't do anything for me, but I just did what doctors tell me.
Yeah.
I don't know what sort of harm I got from that, but never mind. I've got rid of it now, out of my system, I hope. But this lady, the clairvoyant, she said, don't want you to take that, get that prescription filled that's in your bag. Like, she knew that? How did she know that? And she knew a lot about me that I had not told anybody. And she said, it's not what you need. And what you need, you will find soon. She couldn't tell me what it was. But I was then more open-minded because I'm one of these, I sort of maybe was raised not to be gullible or something and to not go into like the center of the shopping mall. They have weirdo little stands and people selling weird stuff. And I would never look at that. But I looked at this and there was someone there selling these cosmetics and products. And one of them was wild yam cream. And I had tried progesterone cream because I had been sick for 7 years, and my mum, she sent me, I saw something on the news that said this progesterone cream from the chemist could really help, but it was $40, and I didn't have $40. That's how we were very poor. And Mum sent me a check for $40, and she said, rub it all over yourself. And I did for a day or three days, and I got really, really, really worse. And I threw that in the back of the cupboard. Because that would be the 10th thing I've tried. Nothing had worked. But anyway, I bought this stuff, the wild yam cream, and they gave me a bit more support. And they said, if you have a bad reaction to it, it means it's what you need, and just keep going. And after I got through that initial thing, I started to feel better. At the end of the month, I was a lot better. And then the second month, I was a lot better again. Third month, I was really good.
Wow.
And I also fell pregnant about then too. So
that wasn't the cream though, right?
Hey?
That wasn't the cream though, right? That got you pregnant.
No. No. That was not an immaculate conception. But that when you get pregnant, your progesterone is flowing. And when you give birth, your progesterone takes a real dive. And that can bring on postnatal depression sometimes.
Okay, I get it. Yeah.
So,
and so you had 5 kids. So have you gone through that 5 times after every child?
I got postnatal depression with my second and third, but not the first and not the fourth and not the fifth. So I think it's all to do with how depleted you are.
Pamela Allen, she uses it for menopause. So I've never heard of it, but we've got other people here. Pamela Allen used wild yam cream for menopause. Let us know if it worked, Pamela. Anyway, keep going, my darling. You're talking about having your children.
Yes, they grow millions of acres of. I didn't hear that. I'll just ignore that one, Michael.
No, that's Jason. Sorry, Jason just did a hell of a comment. So they
grow millions of acres of this for the contraceptive pill. The yam, but they synthesize it. They make a synthetic thing out of it, and that isn't good for you. And your body doesn't recognize it. It's really bad. But the natural one, it worked like a charm for me. So that was. I don't even know why I began to say that, but the clairvoyant sort of put me onto it. She also did a lot of other predictions that came true. She said, "You'll have a miscarriage." And that baby won't make it. That's exactly what happened. In the end, it got a bit scary. And I thought, I hope this predictive phase is ending soon, because it's really it's really weird to know what's going to happen. Or even if you hadn't remembered things, I had a tape, recorded the reading, And years later, I played it back and just realised how many things had happened, as she predicted. However, not everything was correct. So it wasn't. But what came out of that is I had, at sort of teenage years, I'd been pretty religious, and then sort of got disillusioned with all that. I went to a church school and everything, and I sort of turned my back on spirituality, God and religion and all. But that really woke me up to, yes, there is, we are in a spiritual world, and
Absolutely.
we really have got guardian angels who look after us. And we really need
We
to
definitely
just
have something like that.
help
I don't know how it
sometimes.
works, but I absolutely agree with you. I don't know how it works, but we're definitely in the spiritual world, and we definitely have spirits of some sort on our side. I truly believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think all you have, what I learned from that was you just can ask and you'll get help. If you're in a really bad way, these people, you can get help. So
Do you
that
think
was really
sometimes
nice.
though? Do you think sometimes though, B, you might be in a really bad way and then you don't get help. And maybe that's because you need to go through this bad thing. There's something in this terrible time, which is either to for you to grow, for you to learn, for you to change. It's like pruning a rose, it must hurt like hell, but it's actually to create more flowers. So I don't think pain is always the worst thing that we portray it as being like, oh, we've got to get away from pain, and that's why we have antidepressants. But maybe it's not all the time, but sometimes it's necessary. I often find when you get through something, you do feel remarkably different afterwards. I mean, look at COVID. We've all changed from saying no to the jabs, or the ones we've all changed because of that, and most of us for the better. Yeah.
There's definitely learning in everything, isn't there?
Mm.
And there's this thing called hormesis, which is a bit of stress does you good and builds your muscle. Exercise hurts, but it builds a muscle, builds you
Yeah.
stronger. So yes, I'm
Well,
sure.
while we're on the sorry to interrupt, but while we're on the subject of antidepressants, do you want to talk about that other story? That's totally up to you, the one that blew me away this morning, because I think that's fascinating. I remember that case, and then we can get to what you're doing now. But would you like to share that story?
Yes, I think it was about 5 years ago. We had some good friends who were in Margaret River, and they were very much environmental. And Cinda was a lovely lady who made boomerang bags, and everyone got together and sewed these bags. And they had lovely sessions. I actually never got to one, but they had a lot of things going on in their life, which you never would have known. They didn't complain to anyone, but it all came out sort of later what they were dealing with. But Cinda and Peter came to our soil course, one of our soil courses, where we were passing on this wonderful information about soil microbes that I learned from doing this very expensive course with Dr. Elaine Ingham, which was the best money we ever spent. It was like thousands, $8,000. But now we thought that is the best money we ever spent. And so I'm passing this on for a lot cheaper. And Peter and Cinda came, and they were fine, but told us in the break of their daughter was going through a breakup, and the ex was stalking them. He built a house, they bought a new property, and I think there was a shed there, and he'd done it up as a house for his daughter and grandchildren. And they were planting fruit trees and making a permaculture, and like we all did. We all like permaculture around, many of us. So all good. But then, I'm driving home from this is interesting. I was doing the stint of somebody at the op shop, because if you provided 2 people from your organisation to the Lions Club op shop, I don't know if you can hear me. You seem to have frozen.
Yep. I just had to.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if I should keep talking, because we've got some freezing issues. But do we wait for that freezing to stop? You frozen? Michael? Oh. Oh. I'm waiting for Jason's comeback. Laugh out loud. Oh. Hi. Oh, people can still hear me? Oh, fine. Okay. Thank you. All right. There you are. Yeah, so apparently you can still hear me. So I was doing the op shop thing for a lady who I'd been arguing about vaccines with. And she'd been saying how she loved vaccines, and she was before COVID, but she had the flu vaccine and got really sick. She ended up in hospital. And as I was working away there, I was doing her shift, and then a man came in and he dropped off a bunch of clothes, and he said, I normally wouldn't do this, but my wife's in hospital. She just had flu vaccine. So I had 2 people in the same day in the Margaret River Hospital with severe, let's say they were falling down from a flu vaccine. So that wasn't good. And as I was driving home, as I was passing nearby Osmington Road, there was a song on the radio that was very...
Sorry.
Hi, Michael, glad you're back. So I'm up to where I was doing the stint of the op shop for the lady who'd fallen sick from the mercury in the, I just added that bit, from the flu vaccine.
Yeah.
And while I was there, a man brought in a pile of clothes and he said, I normally don't do this, but my wife's in hospital. She just had the flu vaccine and she keeps falling down. So that was that. And I'm driving home and this song comes on the radio and it was very moving and I started crying, and it was right near Osmington Road, and I didn't know why I was so emotional about this song. Might get emotional again. Anyway, that night on the news, we heard some man has shot his whole family, and I sort of straight away knew, and I said, oh my God, I hope it isn't Peter. And it was. Now, he was president of the Lions Club. He was a school, sort of the farm operator at the Margaret River High School that teaches kids agriculture. Yeah. He was a great bloke, and his grandchildren all, they were, had issues with autism and that, but they all loved to sit on his knee and ride on the tractor and all that. But he had, and I just thought, this just isn't him. And I'd read a book recently which was called Nutrient Power by Dr. William Shaw, I think. I'm sorry I didn't look it up. And it said all the mass shootings that had happened in America had been done by people on SSRI.
So what is SSRI? Is that an antidepressant?
Yeah, serotonin reuptake inhibitor, I think. Sounds, well, maybe I'm missing one word there, but that. Yeah. And some people have, they think they know a lot about the brain, but really they don't. And some people react really badly to that, and it's the opposite of what they need. And I just had a hunch, and as Facebook was blowing up with all these people really angry with Peter for what he did, and the feminists were saying, oh, it's always the man who does it, and all this. And I just said it could be that he was on antidepressants, and it turns out that he was, and that he was going downhill very fast. And so I was defending him, and his son and his brother were appreciating that. And a journalist got wind of that and rang me, and basically he sleuthed out. He found the psychiatric association and all that, and they said, yeah, this man should have been monitored very closely, not just left for 2 weeks, because you can go downhill that fast. And the black box warning on many antidepressants is homicidal and suicidal ideation. And I know that they give it out so readily because my husband had shingles for a while, Stuart,
Yeah.
and he couldn't sleep from the pain. It was awful for 6 weeks. And he went to the doctor to try and get a sleeping pill, and they gave him antidepressants. And he came home, and I'm on my little tablet on the toilet Googling the name of the thing, and I'm going, it's got a black box warning in America, but the chemist hadn't mentioned any problems. In Australia, it was just, here, have an antidepressant. And I just think that lots of people are on these, and probably a lot of bad situations occur from these medications. Given
So
out
he
too
went
early.
from literally was it 2 weeks to turn. Yeah,
I
it's
can't
just
tell
a
you the
shocking
time frame.
case. No.
I
It's a shocking case though. But what you're saying is you knew him and he just wasn't this man. And then one day he gets up and I think he shot his wife, his daughter, and all the kids, and then himself.
Yeah, yeah,
You
and
know,
then himself. Yeah, probably
and it's not
thinking
like
some weird thing like he was taking them all to heaven or something. I don't know. Yeah,
yeah,
there was. I really didn't look into it, but I do know that people were so mystified. Like their nearest neighbours were really angry with him, but they also just couldn't work out why he would do it. And I said,
yeah.
it wasn't him, it was the antidepressants. And I'm pretty sure he will be on, we'll find out he was on them. And that comforted them a lot because what else, if you can't say that, then you're just thinking, was he a real asshole and we didn't know
Yeah,
because we all loved
yeah,
him?
yeah.
Yeah.
And his kids
So,
didn't know, or they were grandkids. His grandkids didn't know. No one picked it up, and then suddenly, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I have heard that too. I know a lot of the mass shootings in America that I have heard that they're all on this stuff, and
mm.
yeah, because it's
And we do have an epidemic. We've got an epidemic of mental illness and
yeah.
physical illness, of course. And that
Well, can
brings,
I just
like,
say to that, B, one thing we don't talk about with COVID, because they say an epidemic of mental illness. I actually think it's an epidemic of how would you say this? Sexual abuse, and not sexual abuse, physical abuse, because a good majority of Australians did not want to take the COVID vaccine. They were placed into a terrible corner. I know they were crying when they got it. People have told me they got their little sticker and they threw it, they're so angry. And it
mm,
makes me wonder if so many Australians actually feel like they were medically raped by the government. And as it comes out that COVID wasn't that dangerous, they didn't need to do it, then they've got to realize that they got their kids to do it too. So they did it for their kids. And basically, most of them know. I think there's a survey came out 1 in 200 people now have a serious vaccine reaction. Most people haven't felt the
yeah.
same since, or a lot of people do, that they're dealing with that. They're dealing with the fact. And when I go sexual abuse, that's like, say, waking up one day and realizing when your daddy's doing that thing to you, that's not love. You're actually being abused. I've actually met people who said that. You know what I mean? As a young kids, they thought it was love. They thought it was normal. Then they went to school and found out, oh my God, that my brother does that to me. So it's like a slow awakening to the fact that the government, either to make a lot of money because they bought all this stuff, or they were crazy, incompetent, or whatever was the reason, they forced this onto these people, and that has dramatically affected the mental health of a lot of Australians. I've had grown men crying with me who
Mm.
feel this way. They can't get past it. You know what I mean? So I think that's a lot to do with it at the moment. Plus the fact that we're broke, nothing makes sense. We're broke and we're sitting on all this mineral wealth. I mean, WA is like it's like a quarry. The whole state's like a quarry. You know what I
And
mean? You should be
unfortunately,
uber rich.
the one little toenail that we have of forest in our area down here on the whole state, they're mining it too. Like the
There you go.
lithium mining, great big lithium mining, green bushes. So
Yeah,
expanding rapidly and swallowing up the very last of
yeah.
the forest here. Yeah.
I actually think the
Mm.
corporations are just pillaging the country now. That's what's
Oh,
happening,
yeah.
and the
How's
government
the
are just
thinking
rubber
going?
rubber stamping everything, and then
Mm.
dividing us and keeping us all fighting over nothing as they basically pillage the country. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm seeing because it's just ridiculous that we're broke and that we're in a dire situation. The world wants what we have, which is our minerals, and we get nothing for it, but except for the billionaires and the rich. Yeah, I think this is all playing on
There
people's
were
minds. You
people.
know,
Hmm?
I think this is all playing on the mental health of people all over
Right.
Australia. They're feeling
Yeah.
worthless. They're feeling powerless, and they're feeling
Mm.
like they're losing something. And now they've got digital ID breathing down their throat and all this other stuff. Yeah, that's it. Issue. The government groomed us. Let's name it. We've been
Government group.
groomed. Yeah, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, I see this epidemic everywhere. You see it. People just seem downcast, heavy.
Mm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere I
But
go, I
not
see it.
angry. No anger yet.
Not angry. That's the interesting
Um,
thing.
oh
That
yeah.
doesn't make a lick of sense.
No.
You
I
know,
mean,
I mean,
my
look at you.
husband.
What I've met about you now. You're passionate. You jump into things. You learn about them. You like them. Uh, I I relate to that a lot, and so I love it. But I'm guessing if someone got on the wrong side of you, you'd have a temper too. And and now these people have a right to be angry. They have a right to be angry what's happened, and there's just placidness.
Or they're not talking to me about it.
Not
And
talking to
I'm
me
talking
about it.
about, my loved parents and other family members. I'm just called a cooker by my one
Yeah.
son. Um, and he put in a public place on a Facebook post this awful picture of a horrible old woman with hair everywhere going blah, this was the cooker that and my daughter came in publicly, never talked to me for years, but said, "Gee, it's just like mum," this sort of thing. And it's not. I often have a few sad moments of what
Yeah.
we're all going through.
Yeah.
And
And you were kicked out of the market too, weren't you? They wouldn't let you in the market because you weren't vaccinated.
yes, the local Nannup market. My husband is non-confrontational, and he's a Virgo, and he doesn't like to fight with anyone. So he
Mhm.
was allowed to have a stall, but because I said to the manager of the thing, that she was doing the wrong thing by going around with a clipboard and making sure that everybody was fully vaccinated with the COVID jab to be on the church grounds. And I said, I'm staying home from my Margaret River market. I'm going to talk to this lady. And I just let her know, like in Nazi Germany, the people who did what she was doing, they got executed. So did she know that? And she said, I'm a volunteer. And her friend in the background over there, because I raised my voice a bit and I said, you have no right to be so the other stallholders could hear. I said, you have no right to be coercing people to partake in a human experiment that is illegal. And it is an experiment. They can't give you informed consent. They know nothing about it. And these politicians who stood up there and said it was safe and effective, just on what particular grounds scientific grounds did they have to say that?
Yep.
It was completely unknown.
Yep.
And now the stats are in. Basically, this guy, Dr. Andrew Shivets, reported to the World Council of Health that myocarditis is up 154%, digestive cancers 43%, brain cancers 40%, clotting profiles 32%. And Pfizer's 2021 post-marketing report documents 42,000 adverse events and 1,200 deaths.
Sorry, the generator was just dying, and I raced out to switch it off because I had a thing switched off, and I forgot that outside is these three-eyed jacks. Remember those things?
Oh,
those
yeah.
three-eyed.
Yeah.
My feet are full of them.
Oh, we call them
luckily
double
I've.
teeth. They're horrible.
Yeah, luckily my feet have got a bit hard over these last few years, so I'm not screaming. But yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I
gee.
didn't have those. So
That's-
sorry about that. So
This
go
phone
back to what
must
you
go
were saying.
on.
Just the market.
Oh, the
live,
market.
live.
Thank you. You've got to keep bringing me back to the topic.
Yeah, so the market. So you're in an altercation with this woman. I love what you're saying. You know what's great? G'day, Pets Place. You know what's annoying about it is you're telling the truth. and they're just looking
Oh, yeah.
forward. But you're telling
Yeah.
the truth, and you're the one
I'll tell you.
that is seen by the crowd as crazy, but you're actually sane. Yeah,
Yes.
amazing.
And her friend in the distance yelled out, "You're a bitch," which I had not heard since playground at school. And the worst thing of all was that the stallholders sort of ganged up on me too. So I
Yeah,
was trying to help them. Anyway, whatever.
yeah.
She said, "I'll ring the police. You have to leave." And I said, I had a foot on some green grass that I didn't know who it belonged to. So I quickly put my foot on the footpath and I said, "I have every right to be here. You can't ask me to leave. It's a public place." We had a bit of a stoush. Well, 4 years later, I asked if I could come back to the market 4 years later, like it was last year. And they said, "You were very nasty." And I had a great opportunity again to state what my purpose was. And now, it's transpired that it was an experiment and it was dangerous and it did harm people. Didn't have any effect on them. They were still, the woman's, this is sad, but her husband had a stroke. He was in the hospital. They were elderly. And he uttered, I think to a friend of mine, "You might be right about the jabs." But another year later, her daughter of 51 died of a massive stroke. And still no connection to the jabs. No connection.
Do you reckon it's that they're not giving you the connection, but somewhere inside them, they must have some voice inside them going, "I bet it was the jabs." They must.
Well, he did, and he said it, but that doesn't last long. It's like,
No.
hear a bit more stuff on the TV. The man on the TV will brainwash you again, and it doesn't stick. So
Yeah, I
my
know.
husband, Stuart, his dad died of the jab. We are quite sure his health deteriorated. Like all the parents' health deteriorated. The
Yeah.
4 parents, very much. But also in their little town, 8 men of his age group died in the same week.
Oh, my Lord.
Now, his wife was still, they were
Hey.
all very horrible to us. And, we borrowed their ute and they'll go, "Give it back before it gets filled up with your germs." Anyway, we weren't allowed to, we were just very unpopular. As we tried to send information, was rejected. But now she does believe it because one of the neighbours, he started falling over all the time the day after he had his AstraZeneca. And the day after he's had his AstraZeneca, the news came on and said that it had been withdrawn because it causes blood clots. So he put 2 and 2 together. And gradually, Michael, the truth has to penetrate.
You would think,
But even
people
though
are
she
fearless
knows
stuff.
now, she's fully believing us, but there's still no anger. And there's
I know.
so if they did that to us, what are they going to do next?
Yeah.
But I have lots of friends who thought we'd be in concentration camps by now. And I
Yeah.
just thought safety in numbers. We have to band together and all be saying the same, you'll be pipped off if you're a lone voice.
Yeah, that's right. It's like Scrubble. Can I ask, didn't you have a doctor that took his own life in Nannup?
Not in Nannup, but Bridgetown, which is 45 minutes, 45 kilometres away.
We had a big thing with Hoodie because we were there and they told us that his wife had got into the funeral, onto the when the eulogy, and she'd said it was related to the jabs. He didn't want to give them or something like that. And then I remember Hoodie reached out to her and suddenly she recanted that and said, no, and it was a big kerfuffle. But initially that's what we heard,
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's I don't know. But that's how weird it is. People are protecting the killers of their loved ones from the people who were trying to warn them that maybe this is dangerous to take. So, it's like shooting the messenger. And there's people
Yeah,
like you I find all over the time. They shoot the messenger because they must be frightened. It must be like thinking, "Oh, the king told us to take it," because the thinking like serfs. So the king told us to take it, so we got to attack you. You're easier. You don't have money. You don't have any police force. You're easier to
right.
take our anger out on. So maybe it's like projection. They really want to get angry at the government, but it's just safer for cowards to get
Scapegoat.
angrier at the brave ones who were trying to warn them. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
It's just a
I,
theory.
hmm,
Yeah.
I did also do a thing where I went into the chemist with 8 or 9 guys. No women would come with me. And I just read out for 2 minutes this whole legal thing about what they were doing was wrong. And I got banned for life from the pharmacy. The day after, the cop rang me and he said, "Well, you're not to set foot back in the pharmacy." And I said, "For how long?" He said, "Oh, for life." So, yeah, but apparently the word got around town that I had done amazing things that I hadn't done. I wish I had have. They gave me good ideas. They said I had blockaded the road and put up all these things. I wish I was that energetic. And the cop said, if you had have told, if you had have stood on the footpath and sort of called in to the chemist, what you're doing is wrong. It's putting you in danger and everybody else. That would have been all right. But to go onto their premises was not all right. And I thought the opposite. I thought it was far nicer to speak in a quiet voice to them themselves. Unfortunately, the owner of the pharmacy, the pharmacist herself, had a stand-in that day, but he looked really interested in what I was saying, which was great. And the 2 women employees were very upset, and they pulled out mobile phones and started filming me. And I said, "Oh, thanks. Please put this up, because everyone needs to know this." But
you're great.
I don't know.
It's so much fun.
It's really
my
hard.
God.
I thought one day they're all going to work it out, and I'll stop being the horrible creature. I was banned off the community page, and even the uncensored page started being mean. I ran for the council, and I discovered the underbelly of little old Nan the underbelly, and who's controlling what. And turns out our Shire president is actually the president of the WA Local Government Association, or vice president. It's very high up.
Yeah.
But you go from town to town and you want to put on a show. Actually, the cop's saying to me, if you had have said it on the street corner, I probably would have liked to stop and listen. That gave me an idea to have a meeting in the town hall. And it was I put out the date, and the day after, Mark McGowan announced that there was going to be mandates on all the workers.
Yeah.
And you know how many people turned up to the town hall, Michael?
No.
700. About 700 people. Yeah. And it was fantastic. And I got all this help from everywhere. We ended up with really good speakers like Dr. Judy Weilerman and the Professor of Constitutional Law. Forgive me.
What's his name? I know him. Albert something. Zimmerman.
It's like a European
Zimmerman.
name. So
Albert Zimmerman.
I think that. Oh, how awful! I'm close.
He's from WA.
There was also Dr. Mark, who'd decided not to be a doctor anymore, and they all spoke.
The young guy.
And we had guys playing guitar and everyone singing and dancing at the end. It was really amazing. And we had Lindsay from Freedom Media.
Freedom Media,
to like thousands of people. And he had a microphone.
Hear what happened with me and Lindsay?
No.
Lindsay's a great guy, and he's doing live streaming, but he was doing it really professional. So he got me onto a show, and he got me my microphone, which was attached. It was like a radio microphone. He's got a radio microphone, so none of this, And we're just talking for I think it was like a 2-hour interview. But at about 1 hour, 40 minutes, I had to say, look, I'm sorry, but I might have to. And it's live. It's not recorded. It's live. It's a live stream. I've got to go, to men's room. And so he said, yeah, sure, go ahead. It was cool. Anyway, So I went there and I had a wee, and when I came out, they were all in shock because I had my microphone on. So I did a live stream on the live stream. I don't know if that's a first, but that's what I did. It was probably the best bit of the interview, to be honest. And Jason now is sitting there going, "Thank you, Michael. That's just great material."
Oh, beautiful. What a
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, Lindsay's great, man. I think he's a fantastic guy. There's anyone who's standing up, I'm for. Anyone who's anyone. I don't care. You're jabbed, you're unjabbed. I don't care. I don't care if you walk around on your head. If you're standing up for humanity, which is what we're fighting for now, our right to be human beings, free thinking human beings, bringing us around to this. Anyway, so sorry to interrupt, but so you alone, we've got to get you on the Cardi Girls. This you are a Cardi Girl.
Oh,
Basically
thank you.
a grandmother, and I don't know if you're yet, but you're in that era where you could be, and you're defiant, and you have no one backing you up. You know, even your kids are turning against you, and you're still fighting the fight. I think it's incredible. I love it. We should have an award ceremony going on. We should.
I
You've
have
got
a
700
beautiful,
people together. That's
very
amazing.
supportive husband. I got a really supportive husband, and
Yeah.
one son who I see. He turned me onto that Trump was a good guy.
Yeah.
I didn't believe that. Remember, I was a greenie and I had 3,000 followers on Facebook. And after a little investigation and actually listening to the speeches and not what was said about the speeches by journalists, I put out there on Mary B. Organic Pharmacy, I think Trump might be being
There's
misrepresented.
evidence. Hannah remembers the show. Yeah.
Really? Oh, misrepresented in the press. That's all I said. There was a mass exodus. There was everybody screaming at me, unfollow. All went. And my best friend in the environmental movement. And the three ladies, we were three ladies fighting the introduction of genetically modified seeds into Western Australia. And we knocked ourselves out for 17 years. And that's how I heard about the mice in trials by Dr. Judy Carmen. And I was meant to never tell anybody. I don't know why. So seeing as they're not my friends anymore, they hate me. And they've written horrible letters to me along the lines of, "Oh, do you even like who you've become?" Anyway, I just blocked that lady. But yeah.
Do you even like who you've become?
Yeah, how vicious.
Thank you.
She was the sweetest lady, I thought. So anyway, I had enormous respect for all of them, but then that happened and I just thought, what's going on? And my bestie, she tried to convince me that Trump was a bad, bad man by sending me media about him that, once again, it wasn't him speaking. It was someone telling all of us what he'd said. Totally different.
Yeah.
And I tried to tell her, look, Janet, you know that the whole GMO thing, she works for the West Australian. We couldn't get our point of view across. She did get quite a few letters published, but when people were coming around the country doing tours, there was huge, big pages of ads and praise for them, and they were saying how GMOs are going to feed a hungry world and all this stuff. Meanwhile, Dr. Judy Carmen did some experiments with mice, fed them GMOs, and they cannibalized each other. And that was...
What?
Yeah.
They ate each other?
They did. So when my young son, my youngest of the first four, started being really mean, I had noticed he was not eating good food. He was just eating rubbish from the supermarket.
Yeah.
And I tried to tell him, these colorings and flavorings are bad enough, but all this junk food has got GM in it. And it fell on deaf ears. And no, the pair of them went very nasty. So, and he later died. 5 years ago, he was in a car accident. It was the day after he went to a doctor and the day after his age group became eligible for the jab. So we will never know, and I don't care to find out whether he
How bad was the accident?
He died instantly.
Oh,
Yeah.
B.
Yeah, and had a 4-month-old baby and a 2-year-old.
Oh, B. That
Yeah.
reminds me of the interview I did with the woman from Adelaide who had to go to Kalgoorlie to pick up her son who'd just taken the jab, and he was driving back from the vaccination centre, and people said he was like passed out in the car, and the car just drove off and he was killed instantly too. And
Oh,
so I have heard of that, but I'm so sorry. Yeah.
that's okay, Michael. He's in a better place. And yeah, I just, more to that, he had Codral in his veins as well. And that I found out months ago because his wife wouldn't talk to me. Yeah, like I say, the family's pretty, the young women, all teachers, trained at teachers' colleges. I don't know what they're teaching them, but they're teaching gender affirming care. What more do I need to know?
Marxist
And
ideology.
yeah, so I know he's in a better place, and this brings me back to another big turning point, like lovely time of my life when I was up in the old house just doing something quietly, and no one was around, and the radio was on, and my son played a song for me, and every word of it was meant for me. It was exactly what he would have said if he was right in front of me, and he said, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." And I was just trying to get ahead, and all these things that made perfect sense in the context of everything that had happened. We had started to talk again and visit him when his wife wasn't there. Now get this, his wife, her mother, about maybe a month ago, dropped dead of an aneurysm. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so
It's getting to a point we don't know what to say. I mean, how much can we say it?
and going to funerals, it's so draining. Like to go to 1 or 2 a year is quite enough for me. I haven't been to all the funerals from aneurysms I should have been to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, trying to be a bit positive here. Oh, you're frozen again. Maybe I should just keep on talking.
Yeah. No, it's just the Starlink. We got trees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, he.
So another time when I was seriously mentally ill was in my early 20s. And I discovered a big truth through that. And that is the danger of being a vegan. So, there's a lot of people in our world sucked in by the slogan, meat is murder, and to save the environment, we have to not eat meat. And I went to a climate change conference in 2006. There was no sign of climate change then, but 2008 there definitely went chunk, our rainfall stopped. We had half our average rainfall in 2010.
But isn't that the El Nino effect?
That comes and goes, but when was 2008? It was
just before 2009.
And we've had a drying trend of 30 years now, 35 years. A very
but they
drying
have had great droughts in Australia before. I mean, I was in Lismore, and some old guy told me there, he was like in his 80s. He said, we've had great floods. They named them 74, 1952. And then you talk to other farmers out there from around, and they talk about incredible droughts, like decade-long droughts. And this is,
yes.
decades and
that
decades.
is the case in the eastern states. You have long periods of drought and then floods. We just haven't ever, the last, whatever I just said, since 2008, it's been a gradual decline in rainfall, to the point where we used to be 1,000 mils a year and now we're 700. We had an average winter this year for the first time in a very long time, and it really perked up everything. But just before that, in the autumn, it was so dry that the bush was dying. and trees right beside each other, one would die and the other one would be all right.
Yeah.
You can't blame that on chemtrails.
You know, when it first came out, I really believed climate change too when the Al Gore thing came out. But over the years now, especially because they lie about everything, and it's
Who's going to
I'm
blame
now I
them
don't know
systems?
what to believe anymore, to be honest.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I feel that if you believe something, you're kind of lying to yourself because there's so many lies. The only thing we can really believe in is love, each other, our feelings for each other. This is coming limited to what we can believe in. You know what I mean? Because it's just so the Bondi
Only
thing
what's
is
in front of
it's
you.
yeah,
But
that's
in
right.
my
There's
case,
lies
I've had
everywhere.
this,
Even the
yeah,
Trump
I've
thing
had
now,
this,
where he's kidnapped this president. There's some people saying he was right to do it, some people saying he was wrong to do it. It's clear that America wants the oil. But what I'm realizing is, why are we even talking about it? We don't know. They're never going to tell us why they did it.
yeah,
They're just trying to tell
yeah.
us a story we'll consume, and go, okay, that's why he did it. Yeah, no worries. My only thing is, why didn't they take Albo? Like, take Albo and we'll forgive you. Come and kidnap our prime minister, and everything will be okay. So that's how
Yeah.
I'm feeling. I think the real battle here now is for us. Paul Conlon was on last night, and he said something profound about the war. What they really want is our personal identity. They want hive-minded thinking people. And that's what we've got to hold on to, our right to question everything. And so that's where I am at the moment. Is climate change real, caused by man? Do you know, I'm out on everything. Did we go to the moon like Joe Rogan said? I don't know anymore. Maybe they did, maybe they
I'm
didn't,
with
you know?
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you on all those big things that could very well be scams or hoaxes.
Yeah.
However, I will just upset people, and you even, just a little bit more and say, I have been in one place for 40 years, hands in the soil every day. Something really changed, and the old timers will tell you the soil used to be wet, and now it's like
Well, that's
dust.
interesting.
It was wet
But
most
they'd be
of
the
the
ones that
year,
would know more.
but what I'm trying to get to is, they're using, maybe they've contributed a lot to climate change with their HARP and their chemtrails and their this and their that. But also, we can't kill all the microbes from the farmland and have them not doing humus building. Now, to build soil, you need all this carbon dioxide, and it comes from the air through photosynthesis. So there's the plant sucking in carbon dioxide and sun and water coming up, and it's turned into sugar and oxygen. And the sugar goes down in an organic situation, a forest, a natural situation with no fertilizer. That sugars, the plant says, I'm going to feed the microbes underground with 50% of my sugars. The other 50%, I will grow flowers and fruit and things, leaves and wood. But the microbes, if they're home, 50% of those sugars will go to feed them, and they will suck on the sugars like pigs at a trough. And there's all this beautiful system that nature has evolved over millions of years, where the microbes are contributing, all working together with the animal manure and the grasses and stuff, to produce this wonderful colloid butter-like substance that holds tons of water. We used to have millions of animals roaming, and we didn't have climate change. What I'm trying to say is that corporations are trying to tell us that animals are bad and that meat is bad and we shouldn't eat meat. We shouldn't have animal fat. It'll clog up our heart. And you listen carefully here, young Michael, because the only thing that clears your clogged arteries is actually eating animal fat. So that's just one fact. But we need to all get away from this vegan and vegetarian. I started to say I was a nutcase when I was a vegan. I was a vegetarian when I was 16. I became, within 2 weeks, I had pellagra, which nobody, no doctor, nobody, I only found out what it was called years later when I read about it. Pellagra is a B vitamin deficiency. It makes you get a really sore mouth. I couldn't eat anything. I had to be having baby food because I couldn't eat anything harder than baby food because my whole soft palate was wrecked. And still I pursued being a vegetarian because that was what the books were telling me, and diet for a small planet and all that stuff. It's totally bad for you. And then my husband, ex, came along, and he was a vegan. He wanted us to be vegans. And I was managing to be happy. But once we went vegan, I went really downhill. And
Wow.
I got, no, this is nothing to do with the later on in the 30s. This is when I'm early 20s. I was 19, actually, when I got pregnant with my first child. Gave birth to her, and a week later, I think, I turned 20, on her birthday, pretty much. So, and again, the progesterone rescued me, but my whole body just said, "You're pregnant now." My whole body just made me eat what I wanted to eat, and that was milk. And,
I've seen that.
It wasn't,
Yeah,
it still wasn't good, but it was cheese and butter and meat, and, I was having none of that no more. My body was
I
just
know. I've
refusing
seen
to do
pregnant women. I've seen vegetarian pregnant women when the baby wants stuff and suddenly they're scoffing chicken down and all sorts of stuff. Can we just getting
it.
back though to where we are now? One thing I can tell you is a truth is Kelly and I live on the road, so we've done some driving today through a lot of wheat and sheep territory, farmland. And we did come across one point a load of small locusts, grasshoppers, lots of that. But as a rule, we don't have to clean our windscreen. We don't have to clean the radiator. And when I was young, my family lived on the road for a while when I was a kid. And that was one of my joys was every time we stopped, I'd get out to check the radiator and the grill because you'd see all these exotic insects. And there was scores of them. Now, nothing. And I've been across the Nullarbor. I think it's 5 times at least in the past 4 years. And we've never had to clean the windscreen. And that's going right across Australia and back. That is a real concern. And that, I think, is coming from us, from all the pesticides and poisons we are putting out there. And if it's killing off all the insects, then what the F is it doing to us? And how can we as human beings sit there and watch an entire class of life being eradicated just so we can have cheap wheat?
And, well said. Well said, especially when wheat is just not good for us. It's got gluten, which no human being can digest. Wheat has a lot of plant toxins. It's the seed, and the plant wants its baby to survive, and it packs it with phytates and lectins and all sorts of things that really tear up animals' guts. So the traditional ways of eating it is fermented for 72 hours. So in France, it's illegal to sell bread unless it's been fermented for 72 hours. That's 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then it becomes
so 3 days.
Sourdough, yeah. Most sourdoughs in Australia would be 12 hours.
I guess that, yeah. I guess because I never used to get it, but I get heartburn from some breads now. I never had that in my life. Now I'm getting it. So I'm sort of weaning off bread,
Good.
But going back to another thing, though, we talk about honey, and this was the beauty. So we've got the bee-free symbol, which is up in the corner. But you contacted me to say that you were selling it as bee-free honey. Oh, there! I love it. I love it. Do people actually ask, well, what's in the jar if there's no bee? If the bees didn't make the honey, has anyone asked you that question now? I think that's
nobody's done that yet. No, they do. One person did ask, what was this about? And I was just very happy to answer that we're donating like 20% of any honey sales to keep your bus on the road, and it was it's your artwork and everything, which I didn't ask permission to use.
No,
I did actually before, but
I think you did. I think I saw something come through, but I don't care. I want the bee out there because the bee's us. It's us.
Yeah,
simple.
And
doesn't live in a
it's
hive.
a great
Doesn't follow a queen,
identifier.
but wants to pollinate flowers. Wants to be an active part of society, but wants to think for itself. Who does that remind you of? Us.
Yeah. I'm still trying to get to a point where I mean, I'm finding it's happening already. You know, the carnivore diet's been enormously successful for people's health,
Yeah.
hasn't it? You know, thousands of reports of chronic illness all
Yeah.
gone. You know?
Yeah.
But it's
Also,
tough,
even
and you've done
diabetes.
it.
Diabetes too. Second degree diabetes. Yeah.
It comes good pretty quick. Sometimes you have to. Some people you need to take the lectins out of the diet as well to get their blood sugars right. But a low carb diet is, you know, we need to use fat for fuel, not sugar.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I got too much to say, Michael. I wish I could just sort of condense it down to
Well,
some
I
message.
actually think the Cardi Girls will be back. How are they taking January off? I think getting you on with the Cardi Girls will be a hell of a show. The three of
Thank
you,
you.
three powerful women. And the other thing too, why we set up the Cardi Girls, is we have a society where if you're old, he's like, oh, go away. We don't want to hear from you. You've got nothing to offer, you know, because
Mm,
where in actual fact we're elders. Well, I'm not. I'm on my way to being an elder, but we're elders, and the elders should be listened to because the things we're facing now aren't how do I make this app work on my mobile phone. The real thing is what is it to be human? What does freedom mean? And what is there? These are huge questions that the young people can't answer. They want to, but you know, as we were then trying to figure out how it all works. But you are full of wisdom, and you get Kay. She's full of wisdom, which is different wisdom, and Susanna, and so there you got three elders. I love it, and this is what we should do. Look at last night with John Stapleton when we had him on. He was me, and so there was me, Paul Conlon. I was going to interview Paul Conlon, and John was there. But John was is 30-something years plus as a journalist for the Sydney Morning Herald and the Australian. Once he started asking questions, you were like, "Whoa, now this is a journalist." So he's going to start coming on Sunday mornings, and he's going to bring on a lot of his friends that have been kicked out because they're on our side. And so we're going to have some very interesting Sunday morning shows. And most of these people will be in their 70s and 80s. And I'm looking forward to it because these people have seen so much and they're right into it, you know. So I'm feeling feisty and hopeful now. Not that 2006 is going to be a good year, but that we can fight. We've got ways to fight, finding each other. We're a tough community. You know, we even attack each other. You know, not all of us, but there's, you know, and we're still standing. We're a tough
and
community. I think we can focus.
you know, we can disagree, but still respect
Yeah.
each other and have a disagreeing but respectful conversation. And
Respect is it.
that's rare.
Respect is it. Anyone who's in the movement now, after all these years, regardless of your status, if you're still here, if you're still doing something or preparing to do something, you've earned your respect. Respect should be absolutely given. If people talk about you behind your back in private, no problem. But no getting online attacking each other. That is for scum. That is for people who've been paid to break up the movement. We respect each other, even if you don't like it. Like a lot of people, some people like Hoodie, some people like Bossy, the Bossy people don't like the Hoodie people. It's all this other stuff. Both those men, whatever you think of them, have been there. They've stood up. They've put their face forward. So whatever it is, they've earned respect from that. Same goes for Guru. Same goes for Nicholas Charles. Same goes, especially for Rob encourages the Cure. You can dislike them, and if you really dislike them, don't watch them. But they've earned respect, as I think everyone in the community has. Robert Roach, George Keswick, Rosemary Marshall. You know Paul is. There's all these people. I feel like I'm surrounded by giants. You know, Stephen First here. You know, so yeah, and so yeah, I'm hopeful that if they think they're going to destroy us, you got another thing coming, mate. We are the rats at your book. We're a plucky little. I won't say the F word today, but we're here. Look at you. Here they are thinking they're going to destroy you. You get a meeting together with 700 people turn up.
Yeah, that was really awesome. Yeah, and very little to do with me. But people putting out chairs and everything, they were doing it with gusto. And those heavy Jarrah chairs, they're in rows of 10. And these guys are lifting them. And I didn't have to lift a finger all night. And they said, you know, they was talking while they were doing it, saying how many relatives were sick from the jab. No, they
Yeah.
had that energy. Yeah. So what I
If
want
you
to
ever
meet
get to a
is,
situation like that, I've done this now about 5 times. I haven't been in a gathering for a while. And what you do is you ask, especially if the like that would have been perfect. You go stand up if you know of anyone who died just of COVID. And
yeah,
usually no one stands up, maybe one, two. Usually no one. And then you go stand up if you know anyone who's been injured or has died due to the jab, and the entire room stands up.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is, it needs no words. It is just devastating to see because they're just this huge rise, and that's the truth. And it's all in silence, but that's the truth. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts now as we wrap this up of digital ID? How are you going to cope with that if they suddenly need you to verify your age since you're a little over 15, I think? What are you going to?
I'm 66. Look, I was booted off Facebook before any of you guys. I think I went out with a badge of honour because they wanted me to do a selfie. I like I don't remember, but it was something about gender, that gender operations, gender
Oh, yeah,
reassignments,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and that's so awful to hear from some of these people
Yeah, it is.
who. One guy the other
We're
night, he had
sterilizing
his head
children.
cut off.
We are
He was not
sterilizing
even young.
children. Yeah, it's
He's
it's
been
evil. It's beyond insane. It's evil.
oh,
Yeah,
he's been mutilated, and when he urinates, it just goes everywhere. They
yeah,
didn't instruct anything. It's just horrible what he's living through, and nobody gives a rat's. I mean, the
no,
medical profession. So, look, stay away from the medical profession. As soon as you walk through the door of a hospital, if with a child, they become a ward of the state. You've done interviews with people like this, and we've just had
yeah,
another
yeah,
incident.
absolutely. In Perth, that was terrifying. That thing with,
Terrifying.
actually, I don't want to mention their names. I don't want people going looking for them, but that was harrowing. And to find out that
Mm.
they were already the outspoken ones, and there was scores of other people had their children removed, and the lawyers said, "Don't say anything," and they didn't say anything, thinking that we'll get the kids back, and they don't get the kids back, or it takes them ages. It's terrifying. These things are happening.
Terrible.
I have to say, my stay in hospital for my heart, I was amazed. I was expecting well, I,
You
I
had.
was expecting trouble,
Mm.
but all I found out was people who seemed completely unaware of all the things we talked about. So yeah, but it was,
Yeah.
and so I'm beholden to them. It made me realize that
But
it's not like good people and bad people. It's good people, but there's lost people who, for some reason, can't see what is blatantly obvious. Our government is corrupt. You can you have to have a will, a really strong, stubborn will to believe that they're not, because you have to not see what is so evident. You know,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
amazing time. I don't get it. Yeah,
So, Michael, I do want you to eat lots of fat and look after your heart. That looks
I'm
after
actually fat.
it's
Yeah,
protected and it's able to reverse any heart problems. I want you
hey,
to be on the GAPS diet, and I'm a GAPS coach, and I'm
on the
very
what
willing
diet?
to GAPS, gut and psychology or gut and physiology,
All right,
meaning gut and
look,
everything.
we're
So
coming
Hippocrates,
across. We're coming across.
he
So
said
we'll
it
come
first.
down. When we come, maybe we should do it. We'll be across. We're going to take our time getting across, but we are coming across to Perth, and so we should meet up. We'll come down and
Absolutely.
have it in person, because it'd be interesting rather than doing the diet over here, which I'll forget. Actually doing it in person, I'd be interested.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I would take a while to explain that. But I mean, with the Cardi girls, I think everybody needs to know this because this is the proper human diet. And
Yeah, yeah.
it's been developed
We
by
should do that
a
interview
doctor.
in person.
And
Yeah.
she had an autistic son and she recovered her child fully. He's
Yep.
now 25 or something. Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride, Russian wisdom mixed and tradition mixed with being a brain surgeon, a medical doctor. I like a very smart girl. And she's my age, she's my teacher. And
Well, I'm
it's taken me
just pause for a
6
sec
months.
watching this comment here. If you want to sell fat, Jason Cormack, eating fat gives you a fat. So that's
Well, it
the
probably does.
slogan.
Erectile dysfunction is one of the things we have
That's the
to
slogan to get men to eat meat. Jason just nailed it. That's it. That's all the evidence I need.
and all your hormonal problems. Well, everything's made of cholesterol. Like all your hormones, your testosterone and everything are made of cholesterol. So it's been a pack of lies, and we just need to, find out the truth on all this stuff. And I reckon I could really help a lot of people this way. So I had excellent. My first 3 clients were just 3 weeks later. They were young. They were kids, and they were transformed in 3 weeks just from stopping junk food and eating meat.
Wow, fantastic, Kelly. I love the carnivore diet. We have a little bit of bread now, but I'm healthiest that I've been, considering what I've been through. Kelly has just said, is there a link we can display for your honey? Are you selling it online or just at the market?
Oh, yeah, we started to talk about
What
Facebook
market
was
are you
more
selling it at?
big. Well,
Hey, I
it's
got a
only at the
10-year ban
Margaret.
from Facebook. I got the record.
Margaret
What's
River
the,
Market. I'm doing real world now. I am off the social media pretty much. I mean, I'm on X, but I'm a nobody there with maybe 12 followers, and I barely know how to use it. But Rumble is great, and I've got an email list. So I'll give you can I put my email in the chat, or you guys put the email in the chat?
You send it to us, and we'll get. So
you got it.
What I'm saying is,
Note
what
to
market
self.
do you sell the bee at? What market is it? Marketed now?
Margaret River. Margaret River Farmers Market.
Okay, so look out for bee at the Margaret River Farmers Market, and there you can get bee-free honey. Now, are people buying it? I'm just interested.
Yeah. Yes, and I'm keeping a book, and I'm writing down the sales and calculating what we need to send you.
Cool.
And everybody's written down.
That's delightful.
And,
but it says to other people out there, lots of people are making honey. Maybe the bee-free label is something that would mean this is from the freedom community, and this gets commerce going amongst us. This is what we have to do. We've got to think long term now. 10 years from now, we're actually an economic force, because we've realized we have to build. We have to have identity. We have to have business, and this is how we become more powerful than just people screaming out, "Listen to us. We know the truth," or "We got questions." I think because no one's coming.
We have to be healthy. We have to be energetic, and that comes with health.
And alive. You're so alive. I love it. You're 66, and life is just bursting out of you. It's wonderful.
Thank you, Michael.
You go through these towns and you see the old
I'm
people.
actually on. I'm coming good from. I had mercury in my teeth from the age of 5. That does a number on your brain if you don't get that out in a very safe way, which is another whole episode. But no, you have to be very careful with that stuff. But it accumulates, and I think the symptoms of old age are often just a build-up of heavy metals. So we have ways and means of clearing them as GAPS practitioners.
Here we go. Just before we go, this is hilarious. Is Emily Joe say the F word? I say the F word a lot. That's why Hoodie doesn't have me on his show. So fuck. Okay, you said it. You happy now? There's but I'm in the presence of a very powerful elder woman. I'm trying to be respectful to this feminine power. You give me some credit for that. And you're a force to be reckoned with. I think it's fantastic. I think you and the Carter Girls would be great. And I'm looking forward to coming over and seeing what you're doing. I think we've got to look for people who are doing things, solutions, even if it's small. Look at their trees. You go around Australia, you see these massive, massive trees. Little seeds they grow from. Little seeds.
Tiny seeds.
Tiny seeds. This is what we're doing now. We're planting these seeds. Someone like, I know Adrian thinks like that. Adrian Masso. He's out there. He feels like he's planting seeds. His mate Michael is the same. This is what we do. It's no great
Michael,
silver bullet.
When you come over, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to clean your windscreen.
Why is
that? Well, I could show you our windscreen now. It is mainly in spring and early summer. But, if our environment, we don't know what healthy people look like anymore. We've got to find someone 90 who never was vaccinated and never had an antibiotic and was breastfed and was not born with C-section. I love to talk to them and who unvaccinated. Like these are the amazing
I did meet
humans.
one. I did an interview with one once.
Keep an eye
She
out
was
for them.
she was quite old, in her 80s, never been vaccinated. Never. Yeah, I did meet one, never really taking pills and everything. She was full of
Wow.
life, and he's
Yeah.
just saying, this is it. Yeah. It's
Mm.
the fact that I think Stephen first said it here. Stefan, sorry. He said he did a beautiful post once. She said that that what they've got people convinced is that you can inject health. You can't inject health. You can't do it.
No,
It's bullshit.
and you, like even the quick fix, the going to the doctor for a pill and make you feel better. I'm sorry, but healing takes years. When you're old, it takes a lot of years. You've got to undo a lot of stuff that you've been doing wrong.
Oh, they want your email now. Okay, well, let's post your email if you want. We just hope I hope the trolls don't go at you. Put your email in the private chat, and I'll post it up.
Oh, I think I've done it in the studio chat, but that's okay. Yep. Let me see.
That's okay. Maybe someone saw it.
And then, of course, Michael, we have to worry about Gmail going down.
Yeah, I know. We're getting off it. We're getting on to Proton. And the
and
thing with
even-
Proton, I had one Proton. I forgot my password. Now I can't access any of my other emails because it says, "Oh, we can't encrypt it." And I'm like, because I forget my password like
You don't
3
want it
times
for
a
Michael.
day. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Have a great night, Christian. Okay. I can't see it. Is it there in the private chat?
And should I worry that Café Locked Out is beholden to WordPress?
Well, we've got WordPress now, so what we've done, and Kel suggested today we call it what do you call it? CloseStack instead of Substack. So everything that's going on Substack, because we're still there. I haven't been asked for age verification. Lots of people haven't, but lots of people have. The ones that have aren't doing it, and so now we're putting it on Café Lockdown. So if you want to go to Café Lockdown, click posts. Well, we'll change that to CloseStack. But click posts and everything we do here at nighttime will go there probably the next day. We've just got to upload it, but everything will be there. So, and this is what I think it is. This is how Kevin is so great. And Paul said this too. We've got to stop trusting these huge global platforms because they don't give a F about us. They don't give a fuck about us, okay? They don't care about us. So now, let's get community. So Café Lockdown is a small community, and this is where you can find us. There's the hub, the website, and there's loads of people talking and getting on, interlinking with each other. We've got a dating show starting probably the next couple of weeks. So maybe we might get some love juices flowing through the Clo.
Yeah, that's lovely. And congratulations to you and
juices
Kelly.
and juices. I meant love. It's just yeah.
You weren't talking about celery.
But this is how we are. We start celebrating being alive. Matt Finlay has just put his album on Café Lockdown. So if you want to see a great poet and a great musician, it's all human. He's going on there, and we celebrate being human. We celebrate what we do, and this, I think, will eventually take on the darkness, because the people will get sick of the loneliness and the dark, and they go, there's got to be something more than that. And that's us. We're loud, we're opinionated, and we're free. We're free in here. Yeah. Take care, Christian. Have a good night, brother.
Thanks everybody for your interaction. I've been reading them, and
you've been wonderful. You've been a wonderful guest. I love it.
I do know a troll or two when I see one. They're normally coming from Monsanto in the old days. I used to be sucked under by them, but I found they even make fake links to the Lancet. Like, how evil would you have to be? So, yes, I found out about trolls absolutely years ago. They're paid to ruin us, but it's not going to work. So,
well, they haven't worked, have they? I've had trolls attack. They don't attack me so much anymore, but I've had trolls attacking me full on for years, and I'm still here. Even to tell you something, this is for the Café Lockdown community before we go. We had 100,000 people on Facebook when they took Café Lockdown's Facebook page down because we did the turbine story, and they said the 10-year ban, 3,641 days. We kept going, even though we might lose Facebook now. with Michael Gray Griffith's numbers, with Michael Griffith interviews numbers, 4 clone numbers and stuff, we're already back up there. So we've clawed our way back. And here we are with other things. We reached 6 million people last month. 6 million people consumed Cafe Locked Out stuff from around the world. And all we're doing is we don't have the answers. We're asking questions. We're being human. We're talking freely in a world that's getting frightened of its own voice. That's all we're doing. And you're perfect. You're a perfect common sense veteran. Absolutely. Common sense general, I think.
Oh.
I think so,
Thank you,
man.
Michael.
No
Thanks
problem.
very much,
Enjoy having you
everyone.
on. I'm very proud of you. Very proud to have met you. Very proud of what you're doing. I love it. It's a hard slog to have your loved ones turn against you. It's very hard, especially when you
And
know
you know
something
what else
inside
is
says
really
you're on the
hard?
right path. Yeah.
Seeing the grandchildren be vaccinated. Very
Can I
hard
ask you
when you
one
know
last
all I know.
question? Oh, yeah, I know. Can I ask you one last question? How have you changed from the person before you'd even heard COVID to now? You know, I know all the trials and tribulations you've been through, but as a human being, have you benefited from this odyssey you've been on, or are you wishing you could have gone back and got vaccinated? Thanks, Lisa. 33,077 days left. Thanks, Lisa.
Oh, yeah, about the Facebook, and they were even, when I got back on as a different profile, they told the few friends I reached out to, and they limited me to 2 friends I could reach out to, and I'm going to get back to that question, a day. And then they told those friends, beware of this B. Winfield. She's a scammer. Facebook did that. You know, so this is, I'm kind of always a leader. You know, I was the first of 3 girls born, and I sort of go through things ahead of time and let you know what you're in for. Like, so real world only, come and see me at the Margaret River Market any Saturday morning. We've been there every single Saturday morning for the past year, and hopefully I'm allowed to keep going. We've got my husband selling the great white stuff, the white goods at a nearby private residence. So we got dobbed in for that. You know, we've got the good, you know, healing food. You won't find it in many other places. Look, I haven't changed, Michael. I don't think it's changed, except I don't think it's changed me. To be honest, I've been fighting all this stuff for a very long time. And of course, it's just ramped up like unbelievable.
Well, has it broken you?
No, not yet. And if I don't, you know, when you lie down at night, when you wake up in the morning, I can feel very sad, you know, about my family situation. And my grandparents were incredibly good to me, and on both sides. And I you know, my first grandchild was born, and I just fell in love with her. And yeah, I'm very glad to say that I am in contact with those 2, but there's ones that are very close to home that I can't watch them being vaccinated and harmed with the food they eat and all that stuff, and spoiled rotten. So and they've taken on their parents' attitude as well. So they're only 6, and they tell me to F off when I visit them with presents. So shame on Facebook. So no more Facebook. I don't know exactly where we are, but the email list is it for now. And look, there's people around here that are having 10 children, none of them vaccinated, all having them at home. One lady has her own birthing pool, and she just pops them out and doesn't even need her husband to catch them. I mean, she's amazing. The unvaccinated children are way healthier than the vaccinated children. That little truth will start to get out. My youngest son was vaccinated and injured and became ADHD and ODD, and is now having problems with addiction. So, what we didn't know.
I just want to call out. People are saying they want to contact you. Contact her, not just about the Bee Free Honey, but anything. Mary B Pharmacy, gmail.com, and that's with an F. So it's MERRIBEEFARMACY at gmail.com, which you have to go to Proton now, of course. Let's go and email it
Oh,
more.
I do. Yes.
I know
Yes.
it's a pain. It's a pain. It's a
I
pain.
think
We've
I
got all
started.
Google Drive
I
things
did
earlier.
sign up for that, but I don't know. I think I didn't keep going like I should. I need a millennial to help me with website and all that.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I know
Oh,
you
my beautiful friend Sylvia. She originated my website. It is beautiful, but it is currently in tatters because I got a local guy to do it. I can't even get into it. So anyway,
Oh,
but
well,
it's still
hey,
working
you
a
should
good start
contact
there.
Kevin. If you Kevin does Cafe Lockdown, he is incredible. He's in New Zealand. He's fantastic. So you should contact Kevin. I will
Right.
if you want to let me know and I'll give you his details. He's a terrific guy. And anyone in the movement, if you want to get a website together, contact Kevin. Contact us. We'll give you Kevin's he gives advice on how to make things better. He's continually revolutionizing Cafe Lockdown's website and showing us new things. I mean, he's in his 70s and he's right
Oh,
on everything that's changing. He's oh, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this. This is just new
wow.
come out. He's a brilliant
That's
guy and
fabulous.
he's a great asset to us. Yeah. Okay,
Absolutely.
B, I'm going to let you go.
Yeah.
Thank you for being
Thanks,
a great
Michael.
guest, and let's stay in touch. And we'll get you on the Cardi Girls as soon as we can. It'd be great to start February with a great laugh, but with heart as well. You know,
Thank you
yeah,
very much, Michael. Good night,
no problem at
everyone.
all.
Good night. See ya.
And
You.
yeah, and tomorrow, just before we stay there, tomorrow we have uh, I might do this. Tomorrow we have not Stephen, Simon O'Rourke on. And he's also from WA Muso. And he's apparently he's been watching Cafe Lockdown for ages, but he just recently started posting comments. And he's fantastic. So I said, come on, man. He's agreed. So we'll have another member of the community on tomorrow night to celebrate them as well. I love you, baby. Take care.
Doing a wonderful job, Michael. Keep up your great work. And I know
Oh,
you
thank
work
you.
very hard. Behind the scenes, you are working so hard. And thank you very much from all of us here for what you do.
Thank you very much. Well, I couldn't get it done without Kelly. That's the truth. I couldn't be bothered to do it without Kelly.
Bless Kelly.
Anyway, so there we go from this. This is Harbour to take us out. See you tomorrow at 8 o'clock with Simon O'Rourke. It's going to be a fun show. He's a good guy. Take care, B. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
There's a harbor in my heart where you used to fix your sails. There was no berthing fee to pay, and there were no documents to sign. You used to just relax before figuring out what you needed to do, for the ocean is vast, yet wherever you went, the currents always lead back to you. Now there's a museum in town full of memories of you. Seems the council here have nothing better to do. They change room by room as the outer you grew, but when you switch off the lights, the inner you still glows. There's a harbor in my heart where you used to fix your sails. There was no berthing fee to pay, and there were no documents to sign. If the storms grow too long, why not set sail for me? Otherwise, at least know that there's a part of you here, alive and so full of fire that I'm wondering if it's you that's powering all of these these lights that I'm wondering if it could be you who is powering all these street lights. There's a harbor in my heart where you can come and fix your sails. There will be no berthing fee to pay, and there will never be any documents to sign.
Just say, before we go, sorry, I have to take that shirt off. It's too hot. Jason, you are very naughty tonight, which is why I love you. That was so funny, man. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Oops. That's it.